Well, it's been a few months, but I'm finally back and I'm 104 pounds lighter. If you're asking yourself, where, where did that 104 pounds go? I'll tell you. Because sometimes when I still look in the mirror, I think it doesn't look like I've lost that much weight. And unless my scale is just completely broken and gaslighting me, then I've lost 104 pounds, which is the same weight as like a 10-year-old kid, which is insane to think that I was carrying around on my back with me all day, every day, 24/7, 365. Yeah. So now, 6 months later, after being on a GLP-1, I am down 104 pounds as of this week, which is just insane to think. The last time I updated you on here in a YouTube video, I don't even remember how much I had lost at that point. It's been so long. So I'm sorry if you were following my journey and I kind of disappeared for a while. I've been very active on another social network. So anyway, I have done a lot of shrinking, but I've also done a lot of growth mentally and personally, and just my outlook on things and how I see everyday life. And I'm just more optimistic about the future than I was maybe 6 months ago, and more confident too. I don't know if you can tell that through video, but I 100% feel it. That I'm much more confident right now, sitting here talking to you today, 6 months later, than I was when I started this and recorded my first video 6 months ago in January. I finally decided to give myself a shot. And that's kind of a double entendre because, yes, I literally have been giving myself a shot every week on Wednesdays, but I decided to take a chance on myself. And finally, although it is quite expensive, I decided it's worth the investment because it's literally making my quality of life better. And I'm just blown away by the progress I've made mentally and just on my outlook and things. It's wild to me how differently I'm seeing things now. And maybe that comes with getting older. I turned 30 since the last video on July 1st. So maybe it has to do with getting older and going into your 30s and realizing, oh my gosh, life is going fast. Or maybe it has something to do with the weight loss. I'm not entirely sure, but that's what I'm here to talk about. The things that are happening with me, because I know there are people out there who are going through similar things. And I want you to know that what you're going through is normal. It's fine because everyone goes through their own things, but a lot of us go through similar things and similar experiences. So it's good to know that there are other people out there who have been through what you're going through. And it's good for me to know that there are people out there who have gone through what I've gone through. There are so many people who have lost huge amounts of weight that I'm planning to lose, that I'm going to lose. So I want to lose at least 250 more pounds. So altogether, that would be 350. That's a lot of weight to lose, but I fully intend on doing it. I know I'm going to have issues once I get down to that weight loss with loose skin. That's just how it goes. And I've tried to avoid that and use that as an excuse for years of, well, I don't want to lose a lot of weight because then I'm going to have loose skin. Well, I would rather have loose skin than die earlier or just have a worse quality of life and not be able to do the things that I want to do and being winded by walking to the dumpster or to take my trash out or just going around my house and cleaning and doing things. And I have an apartment. It's not even a house. So I shouldn't be getting winded just doing the normal things that people do. So I guess now I'm going to get into specifically with the shots, and then we'll talk about the other side of things. If you don't really care about the weight loss shots part, you can just skip through this part. But I would appreciate it if you stayed and watched. It helps me out because I'm going to need a lot of help. Like I said, I'm going to have a lot of loose skin, and really the only way to get rid of it once your skin has been stretched out the way it has been by gaining and then losing a significant amount of weight is surgery to get it removed. And that is not cheap. So that's why, honestly, that's one of the first reasons I started making these videos anyway, is because I'm trying to prepare for the eventuality of, more money I'm going to have to spend on myself because of the care I didn't take of myself in the past. but that's something I can't change. The past is the past, and there's no use in fretting on it because I can't change the past. All I can do is look towards the future, have goals and aspirations, try to live life the best way I can right now. So now we'll get back to my journey. If you haven't followed me before, or if you haven't seen a video, I started in late January with my first shot. I finally signed up. I get my medication and all of that stuff through Ro.co. I'm sure you've seen some of their ads. They have great marketing, which is one of the reasons why I chose them. So I chose Ro.co. And at that time, when I first signed up, I went with the compounded semaglutide. The compound, for lack of a better word, is basically like a, it's like the name brand, but it's like the same ingredients. I don't want to say a knockoff, but it's kind of a knockoff. So I'm going to say knockoff. Hopefully this isn't used in any lawsuits one day, because all of these major pharmaceutical companies are trying to sue the people who made the compound versions, and we're trying to make the medication more accessible to people. So anyway, the FDA made some changes, and I've talked about that in the past, and really it's kind of just a whole mess with the whole compounding scene right now. There are still a lot of companies that are doing it, but I just feel like it's not something that's sustainable for me with all of the uncertainties. And you can do your own research on that. I'm not going to go into it. I know the reasons that I decided to switch to the name brand, because Ro started offering the Zepbound, which is one of the two major GLP-1 medications. And the GLP-1 medications are the ones you hear about, the weight loss shots, the Ozempic and Mounjaro and Wegovy and Zepbound. So I went from the compounded semaglutide, which was the alternate version of Ozempic, to the vials of Zepbound, which is not semaglutide. It's called tirzepatide. I was on the compounded semaglutide for about 12 weeks, I think. Pretty sure 12 weeks. And then I switched to the Zepbound vials, and I've been on them ever since. This week was my third dose of the 10 milligrams. And I'm going to stay on the 10 milligrams for a while, because my side effects with the 10 milligram have been not great. Mostly nausea, nothing horrible and uncontrollable, but the nausea has not been fun. So that's the medication I've been on and my pathway with that. And like I said, I take my shot every Wednesday. My weigh-in day has fluctuated. I've tried to do it on a similar day, but I don't know. I just got mixed up. But now I'm doing it on Wednesdays. The same day I take my shot, just so like one day to keep track of. So my weigh-in from Wednesday of this week was 104 pounds, which is just crazy. Over the past week, I only lost half a pound, I believe. And the week before that, I had only lost a pound. So it's starting to slow down a little, which is fine. It's completely normal. I was losing weight quickly. They recommend you lose between half a pound to 2 pounds a week. There were some weeks where I lost 8 pounds, which, who knows, a lot of that could have been water. I don't know. I'm not a doctor or scientist, so I'm not going to try to explain that. But some weeks I lost quite a bit of weight, and other weeks not a lot. But I'm perfectly fine with where I'm at on this journey so far. Let's get into side effects. On the compounded semaglutide, the only side effects that I had that was bad, and it lasted maybe a week, and this was not after I first started taking it was after I went up to the next dose on that medication. I don't even remember what it is right now. I think maybe it was 0.5 milligrams. The milligrams on it are much lower than the tirzepatide. But when I went to that one, the only major, it wasn't even major. I don't know why I said major. The only noticeable side effect I had on the semaglutide was constipation. I have never had constipation so bad in my life. And I believe it was mostly because I ate pasta. So I haven't eaten pasta since then. And I have eaten pasta maybe twice and just a small amount. But I haven't really, not sponsored, but if you want to sponsor me, Red Bull, sugar-free Red Bull, it tastes so good to me. I don't know how to explain it. If you've never had Red Bull, it's a very distinct taste. Anyway, where was I at? Assistant? Oh, wait, I don't have one. So I was talking about side effects. On the semaglutide, it was the constipation. And since I switched to the Zepbound, I haven't noticed a lot of side effects until this week. Well, not this week, the past 3 weeks when I went from the 7.5 milligrams to the 10. So you start on a dose of 2.5 milligrams, and I was on that for 4 weeks, tolerated it well, didn't have much good or bad side effects. It was just kind of like to get you ready for the next dose, to acclimate your body to it. And then I went up to the point, or not 0.5, I went up to the 5 milligram, and it started to work well. I really noticed the appetite suppression was working well on the 5 milligrams, and I was on that for 4 weeks. The the vials, it comes in a pack of 4, so it's 4 weeks, so 4 different shots, 4 boxes, 4 little vials on the inside. So I did that for 4 weeks. Then I went to 7.5 milligrams. I did that for another 4 weeks. And I'm on my third week of the 10 milligrams. And I'm not going to go up again. I think the next is 12.5, but I'm not going to go up. I may even go down. We're just going to have to see how the side effects go, if they get better or not. But I've kind of learned some things over the past few days from some of my people I follow on TikTok and here on YouTube. There's a lot of good resources from people who have been on this journey, and I hope you can find something useful out of my video too. That's why I'm doing it. Not just because I like to hear myself talk, because I do not like to hear my own voice, believe it or not. So there is, what was I talking about? I need that handy dandy assistant again that I don't have. So I learned some things over the past week. I made a post or two on TikTok talking about how I have had side effects on the 10 milligram and how it's been kind of annoying for me, really. And people were asking if I was pre-gaming, and I wasn't exactly sure what they meant. I got one comment at first, and I was like, maybe this person like misunderstood what I was saying. And then I got another comment asking if I was pre-gaming. And I had to ask, what is this? And the person replied with a video, luckily, and explained basically it's just preparing yourself on the days before and around, the before, on, and after your shot. So making sure you get in enough fluids, like water, of course, water is essential, and also enough protein so that it'll mitigate some of the side effects when you take the shot. So I think on Mondays and Tuesdays, I need to really start focusing on what I'm eating and making sure I'm getting enough protein in and all of the right things, and plenty of water. Plenty of water. You have to have plenty of water. That's the biggest thing I can tell you. That's why my weight loss in the beginning, I think, was so successful, because I have a 64-ounce water bottle, and I was drinking 2 to 2.5 of those a day. That's a lot of water. Not drinking as much anymore just because I'm not eating as much, and I'm not drinking as much as I was. So that's something that I'm still having to work on. Before this, I was great. I love water. I drink water all the time, all day, every day. So I'm going to do that this next week with the shots. I'm going to do the pre-gaming thing, and we're going to see how that works. Hopefully it mitigates the side effects, and I'll see if I can stay on this dosage a while, or go down. If it doesn't get better, I'm going to go down, because the 7.5 I didn't have issues with. So I'm going to go down if that's the case. But if it does get better with the pre-gaming, then I'm going to stay on it for a while until I feel like it's not working, or until I hit a plateau or something, and then I may go up to the next dose. But of course, that's a decision for my doctors on Row to make. I've lost 100 pounds now, which is ridiculous. It feels so foreign for me to say that, because the most weight I've ever lost in the past when I was trying to lose weight was maybe around 70 pounds. And that was when I was doing intermittent fasting, which I left, by the way. I just stopped doing it. You know, that's how it goes. If you're here watching this part, you probably understand that. I don't know what else to talk about as far as the shots. In addition to the shots, I know a lot of people say that you need to start exercising, and obviously that's a part of getting healthier, is exercising and making sure you're not losing muscle, you're losing fat and keeping the muscle on or building muscle up even. But I haven't been working out. I'm not gonna lie and tell you I have been. I haven't worked out any. Maybe there were 2 days I bought these resistance band things and I was using them for like 2 days, literally. I used them twice and then I kind of just got bored and didn't do it anymore because in my head, I'm like, well, I'm losing weight and I feel fine. I feel better physically. I'm able to just do more, which if you weigh a lot, you realize that just doing small things like vacuuming, sweeping, mopping, just going from room to room to room is a workout in itself. And you burn calories like that. And it's also good for your muscles and things like that, I'm sure. So I haven't been working out anything specifically. It's mostly just more activity in general, other than being kind of more sedentary because I work from home and I don't really go out anymore. I'm not a huge crowd person. I go and see my family on Sundays, not every Sunday, but most. And that's like my social time. Then Monday through Friday, it's work and a few hours of watching something like Star Trek and then sleep and do it again. And then I've also been focusing on making videos on TikTok and trying to build a media empire and spread positivity and make money while doing it. So I've been, I've had my hands a little full. That's as much as I can think about as far as it goes. I haven't changed my diet a whole lot, which my diet, obviously it wasn't good before, but I think it more had to do with overeating as opposed to what I was eating. Although I will say one thing that I really used to enjoy were gummies. Any kind of like sour gummies or candy. I used to love to eat them and I never really realized how many carbs and stuff were in them. And I think that's one thing that's helped a lot. I'm still eating sandwiches occasionally. I'm not limiting myself really, except I'm not eating pasta because, it made me constipated. And I kind of stopped eating eggs because I made some deviled eggs and I ate them while they were still kind of warm. I didn't put them in the fridge to get cool first, and it just roasted me out. So I haven't been able to eat any eggs for like 3 or 4 months now. But like I said, I'm still eating normal things. I mean, I'm eating a lot of chicken. I always eat a lot of chicken. I'm eating more beef than I ever did, really. Not a lot, though, just occasionally, but it's mostly chicken. I have potatoes every once in a while, but I make sure to pair it with like a protein. Because this is what I learned from a nutritionist that I saw. I was like, can I still eat instant mashed potatoes? And she was like, yeah, you just need to make sure that when you're having something that's really carb heavy, you should pair it with something like uh, protein heavy because the carbs, if you just eat something rich in carbs, your body's going to burn through it quicker. So you're not going to feel hungry or you're not going to feel satiated for as long as you would if you pair it with something like chicken or something with protein in it. I'm eating my protein bars, drinking protein shakes and stuff, and nothing has really changed a whole lot in that regard. I feel like I've been lucky. I think the biggest change has been eating more in moderation than before, as opposed to changing what I eat. So now I'm going to go into the next topic that I wanted to talk about. Sorry, I have the microphone on my shirt, but I want to make sure it's not like, I don't know, making a lot of noise. Actually, I think I should hold off and do the mental health thing in like a part two, a video on its own, because it's been the biggest change. So I think I'm going to do that. So that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to make a part two. I will update the description of this video when that video's out. I'm going to put it up soon. I'm probably going to record it right after this. I'm just not going to edit it yet. And I'm not going to focus on my editing and stuff like I was before because no one cares. I mean, I think if you're watching stuff like this and searching for topics like this, you want to hear what I have to say as opposed to what the thing looks like. I have my ring lights and I have a microphone, so you should be able to hear me and see me well. And I don't have to do all the extra fancy stuff because honestly, who cares? So if you're seeing this, if you watch this part, I hope you have a fantastic day, a fantastic week, month, year, everything. And just know that if you're on a similar journey, it doesn't even have to be weight loss. It can be the mental health journey. It can be all kinds of different journeys that you're on, trying to make changes in your life. Just don't give up. You have to be mindful of your outlook on things. You have to be mindful of how you speak to and about yourself. You can't be saying, well, I'm trying to lose weight and it's not working and I don't see it. That's kind of like self-deprecating stuff. I'm guilty of it too. I've literally done it in this video. But you have to remind yourself, there's a reason that I'm doing this. It's to fight back against that inner saboteur in my head. I'm, trying to better myself, extend my life, make my life better. Whatever your reasons are for doing the journey that you're on, just remember why you're doing. Keep in mind how you speak to and about yourself to other people, and when you're having conversations one-on-one in your head. Just don't give up. I lost 100 pounds. Like what? Me? I did that in 6 months. And so if I can do that, you can get through what you're going through. So thanks again for being here. And as I always like to say, never stop chasing better days. Bye.